Hi everyone, and look, the smile is coming back to everyone's faces, I think, I hope anyway. It's certainly coming back to mine, and I'm out here, it's 5:45, and I thought I'd take a video to see how light it is, see how lovely it all looks, although you can see my fields are looking in a good need of rolling now. Everything's drying up much better. And it's amazing what a bit of sunshine can do. It's amazing that everyone is so happy again. I know possibly there are people out there that aren't, and have struggled a lot, and to be fair, we've all struggled a bit, and I'm one of those annoying people that can be quite happy all the time, but I've struggled the last couple of weeks, especially when the snow was about, and you know, it was all becoming so hard. Everywhere was muddy. You can see I've got a lot of muddy fields, and but it is now starting to dry. That's our hay field behind us. That's our round pen. But the hay field is starting to dry. You can see where we move our muck trailer, the mess that the tractor's made, but we'll sort that out. A bit of rolling never, you know, it's amazing what it can look like, but I think we're fertilising this hayfield next week, so that's looking quite good, and it'll be lovely to start having a bit of a work on that field again, because that's what we tend to do when it gets better. So yeah, so just looking around, we did turn ours out in the snow as well, so that's why the fields are looking a bit ropey, but at least they've all had a run around. And who's excited now for life to get back to a little bit of normality? We've got some dates to look forward to. I have entered for the training show on the 2nd of April with a few of the horses. Not very big classes, we'll keep small to start with, get myself back into it. I'm going to be horribly rusty, and it's just nice to have something to work towards, to be fair. I have got Welsh Master Stables booked in April, but I'm not sure that show will go ahead. I'm not sure Wales is going to be opened up. I've had them booked since last year. But there's an awful lot of shows now starting to put their dates on. But to be honest, I'm not going to be in too much of a rush, because you just don't know what's going to happen. We've got to be so careful. I think everything's looking like it's all going down, but we don't want to get back too quickly. We don't want it all to go skyrocketing again, and we've all got to shut down again. I sort of think now we're shut down, we might as well make the most of it, and come out of it safe. I know I've had my vaccination, and I'm really pleased about that. My parents had their vaccination. Daryl's just waiting for his at some stage. I know a lot of people now have had it, so at least this time, coming out of lockdown, a lot of people are vaccinated, whereas this time last year we were going into lockdown and coming out again with no sort of sign of a vaccination. So this time I think we are sort of a little bit more hopeful that this could be the start of a new beginning, and I don't think it's ever going to be the same again. I think life's always going to be looking over our shoulder now, but I think vaccinations have got rid of a lot of horrible things, and let's hope COVID is one of those. So I'm hoping that everyone's find their smile, because smiles have been lacking for a long time now, and like I say, I'm just going to work away with my horses now. We're getting fitter, we're getting stronger. I'm getting fitter, stronger. I've signed up for a couple of boot camps to help my fitness, so I'm looking forward to seeing where we go with those. I've been doing a Be Activated course as well. So we all have to do things these days that perhaps we wouldn't have done a little while ago, but I've really enjoyed the Zoom courses that I have done. So never be afraid to do something different, because sometimes it does help. And then yeah, my horses will hopefully be fit enough. We'll just go to some training shows through March probably. No, sorry, through April, because March 29th, it's looking like the riding school will be open again from March 29th, which will be fabulous. I've been teaching the liveries and sharers, so I've still had Still had work going on, but obviously not so busy. And when you've got 40 odd horses to have to keep feeding, it was beginning to look a little bit dubious. But come 29th of March, we should be back up and running again, even with just private lessons. So that'll be super. And then if we can go out and start training shows, you know, we won't be in any hurry. I think qualifiers and second rounds this year, well, I don't know about that. I'm in no rush. I'll just be happy to go out and do some training and some training shows, and hope I can get around the courses. So again, smile. Hope everyone's smiling, and if people aren't, my friends, I'm always here if they need me. Okay, so I look forward to seeing you all soon. Bye. And just to say, I'm going to add on some videos of what we've been doing with the horses recently, and just so you can see how they're all progressing. No doubt there'll be some pictures of naked horses in fields, and yeah, like I say, keep smiling. We really enjoy hacking the horses around the tracks when the weather gets better. Since my accident, I've been a little bit worried about going outside, but I'm starting to get better again. But I did throw some poles and some little jumps in the school this week, so we had a little bounce. I quite like just putting the poles in different places and then possibly with strides to a fence. This one was on a bit of a curve with Fanta. Luna, before the grey horse, was just having a bounce through. They all did the exercise quite nicely. I do quite like them to be able to go around the corners on the correct canter lead. So it's just trying to get them jumping straight and balanced and landing on the right canter. These little curving lines are quite nice. And Sunny's doing it quite well. Sometimes it's not about height, it's just a little bit of athletic work for the horses and for me to get our bodies working well. And as we get them jumping, we've been watching Villamora in the sunshine, and it was so lovely to see John Whittaker winning the Grand Prix, and it reminded me of when he came to the yard and opened our salt room, which my partner Daryl Torrens has developed, and he's basically in a lot of the leading trainers and riders' stables these days. So John came and opened our Newmarket Equine Salt Therapy unit in October 2018. We had a lovely evening. We invited lots of people over. He did some book signings. That's Daryl with Sandra Lowe Mitchell, who's one of our friends in Scotland. She has a machine. And Mum having her book signed. So John has obviously seen an awful lot of things over his years, but he's thoroughly endorsed the Newmarket Equine Salt Therapy system. Daryl goes over to his yard before he goes away to shows and after, and now he's bought his own unit, so he has his own stable. So basically this horses stand in the stable for 20 minutes, and you can see they quite like the salt on the walls. What we're looking for is their noses to release liquid, so that it shows that the mucus is being removed from the lungs. We always say 3-day sessions to start with, so they stand in the stable for 20 minutes. They breathe in the salt air, it goes down into their lungs. It frees the mucus right down in the deep of the lung. So if they're having any trouble breathing, it just mixes it around, and hopefully you'll see it coming out of their nose. So we do like to see snotty noses. Any coughs and splutters, our horses all go in the stable. You can see there the salt blowing through, so it's dry salt air. The horses are very relaxed most of the time when they're in the stable. So for 20 minutes, I take Millie in there as well, my dog, because she coughs and snuffles. And I try and get in there at least twice a week, because these days where lung diseases are rife, it clears your lungs up well. So as you can see, we're looking for those little releases, those little dribbles out of the nose. And it's also good for an awful lot of skin conditions. This is one of our horses that came in last year with a serious reaction to something, and you always see people asking, what can they do? Well, we put her in the salt room for, well, that day, washed her over in the salt water. She went in for 3 days, but this is her the day after. You can see how quickly it really soothed her skin. So just having the salt lying on the skin is fabulous. So for any bad skin conditions, it's super. We had one with quite bad ringworm, so that's her. She went in there for 7 days. We can also topically apply the salt. Once it's been in the grinder, in the machine, it comes out like powder. So we can topically apply that on any lumps and bumps and any cuts. And it just soothes the skin, and it's super. So this was a cob in Scotland that the vets had been treating for over a year, possibly 2 years. They'd washed their hands of him. They were going to put him down. And you can see how well the salt therapy eased his skin. He's now super, looking really well, and we'll be back showing again. But sometimes you can't just go with the creams and the lotions. It's also brilliant for mud fever, scabby legs, drippy eyes, watery eyes. It just really does clear a lot of things up. And they do say to you, if you've got a cough or a splutter, go to the seaside, breathe in the sea air. Well, that's basically exactly what it is. The website's www.newmarketequinesalttherapysystem.co.uk, and you can read all about it. So as you can see, some of the top trainers, show jumpers, including John Whittaker, Richard Howley, Andrew Saywell, Jake Saywell. I can't name them all. He's now got a lot of trainers in Dubai on the system, so it really is a very, very good thing. And then let's just face it, sun on the horse's back, can't be better than that. We got the rugs off today. Our fields are desperately in need of rolling now. But there's nothing better than seeing the sun on the horses' backs. So we're very lucky at Weston, because if we have any issues, they go in the salt room. We've got loads of grazing, so the horses always go out in the fields. I'm not one to leave them in for too long. And then this is what we're ending with at night. So happy week.